Today, I'm going over my 10 traveling commandments, 10 rules that I live by on the road, and the 10 rules that I think if you live by on the road will make you have a better journey. First commandment of a vagabond, thou shalt not check a bag. This one is particularly important to me. I think I travel lighter than 99.9% of travelers. There's a lot of reasons to go carry-on size at max. One, there's a lot of times when you are gonna have your baggage with you. When you're going to and from the airport, between hostel check-in and check-out, train layovers, bus layovers, from time to time you're gonna have your pack with you. You don't want it to be a big, heavy 80-liter backpack. It's much better if you have a nice, light little backpack with you that you can walk around with all day and it not dig into your back. Another reason, never check a bag, how much time it will save you at the airport. You don't want to have to show up earlier so that you can check your bag. And then after the flight lands, you have to wait at the dreaded baggage conveyor belt. It's much better just to be able to grab your bag and walk off into the city. Now, you don't have to go as light as me. This is a Osprey Axis backpack. It's about 22 liters. You can go up to 40 liters approximately without checking a bag. Vagabond's commandment number 2, avoid public transit within reason. Currently walking to my favorite independent theater here in Budapest, M. Mosey, 45-minute walk from my apartment. I could take a 15-minute tram, but I feel you take public transit, robbing yourself of all the experiences, sights, the amount that you learn from the city walking. Commandment of a vagabond number 3, thou shalt not do illegal drugs east of Germany. A lot of these eastern countries really don't mess around with their drug laws, and you don't want to end up in a prison east of Germany. Fourth commandment of a vagabond, thou shalt not pay to use a restroom. This toilet back here costs 250 forints or €1 to use. But for me, paying for such a basic human function goes against everything I believe in. Almost every restaurant, cafe, and bar will let you use their toilet, even if they have a no public restroom sign out front. A couple years ago here in Budapest, I went into a bakery that said,
no public restrooms.
I just went in and asked,
Can I use your washroom?
and they said,
Sure.
and on the way out, they gave me a free cookie. So even if it says no public washroom, there's still a good chance that there is. Top of the morning. Fifth commandment of a vagabond, record your journey. In the future, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, if you're lucky, you're going to be looking back in your traveling days with fond memories, but hazy memories. The surest way to be able to get back to that time, as if it was today, is to record your journey. For me, that means these videos in this journal. For you, that might mean sketchbooks, photography, audio recordings. It can come in any form you'd like, as long as you're recording something. I'm sure you're sick and tired of my face at this point, which is why I've enlisted friend Zane to tell you about our next traveling commandment here.
Traveling commandment number... accepting help from strangers on the road. Before we get to that, you may have noticed the beautiful Armenian mountains behind me, or perhaps my wild and grizzled mountain hair is capturing your attention. Whichever it is, I ask that you focus your attention on this commandment because it is perhaps one of the most important. There's two main reasons you do this. Firstly, you can imagine if you're hosting a party and you killed the suckling pig and you roasted it all day and you cleaned the house. Your guests come over and one guest says,
You know what? Actually, I'm not
hungry.
You're going to feel a little hurt, justifiably so. You put in all that work for what? You can think of it in the same vein as a traveler going into a new country. You are a guest at a feast. You are a guest in the new country. If a local offers you something, of course within reason, use your discretion. But if there's a serendipitous encounter and you say no to that, you close that door, it's disrespectful to the person offering it to you. Number 2, do it for yourself. If you're traveling throughout the world and you're thinking that you're some Clint Eastwood High Plains Drifter character. Garrett, put a picture of Clint Eastwood next to me. Do we look the same? Probably. You can imagine how, that looks cool, the lone drifter, lone ranger, but you're not filling your bank of experiences. You're not sharing those experiences with anybody. So you do it for yourself because if you want to look back on your time on the road, you need to have shared experiences. They're much more valuable than your experiences when you're alone. Of course, there's fundamental experiences when you're alone and you self-reflect, and that's needed. But generally speaking, the traveler who is interacting with people, who is opening themselves to serendipitous encounters, is going to look back on their time and have a bigger smile on their face than the Clint Eastwood character. So generally, of course, again, use your discretion. A stranger offers you something on the road. Food, a beer, showing you around a museum. Say yes. What do you have to lose? If anything, it would make a good story if it goes completely sideways. There should be a footnote. Garrett, put a footnote on this rule. If you're in Morocco, or say Istanbul, or Cairo, cities like these, and somebody offers to show you around or invites you in for a free tea, and you're in the middle of the souk, or by the pyramids, maybe think twice. But besides that, especially when you're out in the middle of the Armenian mountains, You want to say yes to people because you don't know where it's going to lead, but based on my experience, it always leads somewhere at least reasonably good, more positive than not. So take the risk and lean into life, lean into the road, and say yes.
Zane is a worldwide vagabond. He makes videos about his journeys along the way. He's currently releasing videos of a walk that he did 1,000 miles through the Balkans. If that interests you, please go subscribe. Link in the description and link somewhere on the screen. Seventh commandment of a vagabond: take the slowest mode of transportation possible. One of the best times I've ever had traveling was cycling from London to Ireland. Could have taken a flight, it would have been 2 hours. But in those 11 days cycling, I learned more than I did on the other 4 months of my trip combined. When you fly somewhere, you miss out on all the experiences that you could have had if you had taken a train. And when you take a train somewhere, you miss out on all the experiences you could have had when you biked or walked. Vagabond's commandment number 8, sit down to eat. Some good pizza. Us vagabonds don't have a lot, but one thing we do have an abundance of: time. Use that to sit down in the sun and enjoy your meals. I've also enlisted my friend Seth to read one of our commandments today.
Spend your money on things that will give you the memories that you want to walk away with. I see a lot of people save their money and they're gonna oh, we're gonna go bungee jumping, that's what I'm saving all my money up for, and that's great, but not going out with your friends, not going out for drinks, not doing the small stuff can ruin some people's time. And ultimately, having memories is the priority with travel. Sometimes it's those little things where you're just like,
we're gonna have a good night, go to the bar, spend a bunch on drinks, and not worry about tomorrow.
Those nights, I think they end up being the good times. And unexpectedly so.
Seth's also a worldwide traveler, but he makes videos about movies, TV shows, and video games. He has recently made a video tearing apart the newest season of The Boys, so if that sounds interesting to you, go check it out. Final commandment of a vagabond: remember, you get back what you give out. About 2 brothers. Their father sent them off to travel and to come back and report what they found. When they came back, one brother reported that he had the best time ever. He had met the kindest, most loving people. He said it was the best country in the world. The other brother came back and said that he had been sent to the worst country in the world. Had the meanest, most awful, horrible people in it, a disgusting, horrible country, and he was angry that his father sent him there. And then the father revealed that he had sent the 2 sons to the same country. If you go out in the world with a smile on your face and you're a kind, generous, loving person, you get the same thing in return. If you go out acting like an asshole, everybody else you meet is going to be an asshole in return. Thank you for watching.
That's all today, folks.